nations battle for this heaven of the West. Gone the days when strife and discord dimmed our children's toil and rest. Dawns at last a brighter day. Stretch his arms, a glad new way. May the good Lord bless our island, guard our sons from woe and harm. May our people live united, strong in soul and strong in arm. Justice, truth, and charity are ideal forever be.
My place. I am just here to do what I'm doing now and about to hand over to our president of the Rotary Club of St. Lucia.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As I stand here now, representing the approximately 200 members of Rotary, Rotaract and Interact clubs in St. Lucia, I can't help thinking back to the days when all of this was a mere dream. I'm not even afraid of admitting that it was in quite a few people's mind an unrealistic dream. Some of you may not know, but in any one year, Rotary clubs take on a whole number of service projects. And without wanting to bore Rotarians here, I would just like to tell the people that don't know a little bit about all the projects we do. For example, in this year alone, we'll for example have the first Move Chess in primary schools that starts on September 12th and 13th. We'll have a tree planting in cooperation with the ARC that's scheduled for December 15 in the Dennery River Valley. We're doing some worldwide environmental projects in cooperation with the World Arc in Australia, Brazil, South Africa. And the first one is taking place also on September 15 in Bali, a beach cleanup that was initiated by us here in St. Lucia in Bali. Can you imagine?
That's good.
That's amazing. We hopefully have an exciting, about $500,000 water project coming up for the Babonneau area. That is together with our friends from the Rotary Club of Grosley and the Rotary Club of St. Lucia South and Rotarians in North America. We just finished our joint annual Rotary Camp D-Life for diabetic youth that is spearheaded every year by the Rotary Club of Grosley. Well, hopefully, and Honourable Minister, if you're not aware of it, just we're planning on a tree planting exercise in schools and around health centres island-wide for June 2013. We're still working on finalising the funding. We have an operation of a Rotary food bank for approximately 40 households, our annual feeding of the homeless, the Christmas hamper distribution for about 50 to 75 households, again together with our other Rotary clubs. And then our Rotary Calabashes that you just heard will have charity performances where the money is then again used for projects in the community. Their first performance is on September 28 at Cap Maison, if you'd like to hear them sing a little more. There's a whole lot more. I can go on all afternoon. You know, we have 2 international group strategy exchange projects, one to England and one to Florida. St. Lucia's participant for the England trip is on a flight right now as we speak, on the way to Trinidad for orientation. We're a sponsorship of Rotaract and Interact youth organizations, our annual anti-drug camp at Easter for youth at risk. South Louis Technical Community Awards. Our contributions to end polio now through the Rotary Foundation, the maintenance of 4-way test signs in schools island-wide, possibly another Doctors in Action with this very bus. Our annual visit and lunch with the students at Donator, and a few more, possibly smaller projects that are dear to individual Rotarians. So members of Rotary clubs are clearly very busy people, and that is in addition to their pursuit of excellence, their job, and everything else they do. Sounds a bit like Dr. King, right? In other words, a mobile youth clinic had to be firstly financed and then of course achieved in addition to all the few projects I just mentioned. So it was what, about 6, 7, 8 years ago that the possibility of a project like a mobile youth counseling clinic was first mentioned. And if my memory serves me right, it was at the time mainly Rotarians like Dr. Stephen King, past President Malcolm Charles, and past President Dr. Asmina Long talking about the project. And not really wanting to speak for anybody else, I have to admit, it seemed, for me personally, not exactly a very realistic goal. And some members in the club may have agreed with me at the time. That, of course, did not deter past President Malcolm. And the last thing I want is to remind ourselves of the struggle that we had with the project initially. Because numerous times somebody would say, do you know exactly how this bus is going to work? Where exactly is all that money going to come from? And who is going to run that bus? Remember? So it's probably a good thing when one does not know something is not possible and then just goes out and does it. And such is the power of Rotary and the commitment of our members that the dream somehow stayed around, and before we knew it, we were in the middle of fundraising efforts for this very goal. At the time, money earned through the newly formed Rotary Calabashas and also annual wine and cheese fiesta were designated towards this project. And despite ongoing uncertainties, how it is all going to work out, we somehow stayed the course that was repeatedly charted again and again by past President Malcolm. And then all of a sudden, through past President Malcolm Charles' initiative and involvement with the Van Geest Foundation, the project received a real shot in the arm with a significant injection of cash and was as good as a reality. It is, of course, no small measure of confidence in Rotary that the Van Geest Foundation entrusted us with that money, knowing perfectly well we were going to use, first of all, without delay and without spending a penny for the planning or designing of that project. And that's another thing that's very important for Rotarians that the public knows. To this day, no Rotary club can use money that is raised for charity on the operation of a club. Club expenses have to be solely carried by members. And every penny we get from somewhere is used for service projects. So, immediately talks started with our partners in this, namely the Planned Parenthood Association, the National Skills Development Center, Rice St. Lucia Limited, the Bell Fund, the Ministry of Health, and by extension, of course, the government of St. Lucia. And we're particularly honored that the Minister of Health is here with us this afternoon. Thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Dr. Luis, education. Looks like I need a little education. We'll get there. But truly, wherever we turned, we found open doors and amazing people that wanted to assist the Rotary Club and get involved with this project ahead. And right away, there was a real buzz and excitement was in the air, because this was clearly ringing through to everybody, and it was eventually going to fill a genuine void. And this it is how it is going to work. The St. Lucia Planned Parenthood Association will be the managers of the clinic. It will provide accessibility to its services by offering screenings in communities across the length and breadth of St. Lucia directly from the mobile youth clinic. And the range of services to be provided primarily for youth, and this is very important. This is a project that is aimed at the young people in our society, because we feel there's a genuine need there for such a project. So the range of these services to young people from the clinic directly will include, but be not necessarily limited to, HIV testing, STI counseling, pap smears, possibly voluntary sterilizations, prostate examinations, breast examinations, pregnancy testing, maybe blood sugar testing for diabetes, infertility tests, contraceptives and distribution of medication and commodities for the care of people living with AIDS, substance abuse counseling, physical and sexual abuse identification and referrals, general life skills advice, and so on. A whole lot of services, obviously. And a very important aspect, for example, will also be the whole sexual responsibility counseling that we hope can be part of the services that the bus provides. Then there are, of course, our friends at Rice and Lucia Limited. They will function in a citizen advisory capacity, hopefully tying in with the services that are offered by the health service providers, and wherever possible provide guidance and hopefully mobilize available resources. The National Skills Development Center will provide career advice, identify skills development needs, referral to NSDC programs like life skills or courses in agriculture, hospitality, construction, literacy, and where applicable, possibly match up skills with vacancies that exist at any organization. It will facilitate registrations for specific programs like, for example, the SMILES, the Single Mothers in Life Enhancement Skills program, and possibly others, of course, as well as hopefully compile data for future skills development programs. Then there's the Bell Fund, the James Belgrave Micro Enterprise Development Fund Incorporated. The Bell Fund will carry its mandate of small enterprise development directly into the communities that the bus is going to visit. Now, with all of these, you may wonder, what is Rotary going to do? We think Rotary will function as the glue that holds it all together, and possibly use the Rotary bus for community health fairs such as Doctors in Action, or have it placed at specifically large events and so on. We'll of course continue to have a vested interest in the best use of the vehicle and lend our support and expertise when and where this is deemed appropriate. Eventually, there is hope that a database of young people, including contact information, health profile, educational status, employment status, and aspirations for referral services in all of the above, will be compiled. And this is another thing that's very important. Properly founded data is often, if not always, crucial in accessing funding from international donor agencies that can help with all kinds of projects. And once you have proper data, you're already one step in the right direction. Hopefully the bus can help with accumulating some of that. So as you can imagine, today is a very proud day for all Rotarians. Rotarians by club membership in any Rotary club like myself, and of course